Hey everybody, I'm Erica Oberempt, and you're listening to Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. We talk about real shit, what's on our minds, and don't give a fuck if it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for some real shit. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I'm your host, Erica Oberempt, and today is going to be a fun, exciting interview. Hopefully you're going to learn a lot. Hopefully I'm going to learn a lot. This is going to be fun. Let me introduce my guest, Erica Stewart. Erica, thank you for being here today. Hey, I appreciate you coming all the way to Houston. And don't be scared.
I'm not that scared.
Okay, because this is just a conversation. This is your first real live person podcast. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you excited or nervous?
I'm excited. I'm excited about what we're talking about because I'm passionate about what we're going to talk about.
Love that. That's what I like to hear. So we'll get the little introductions out of the way real quick. I did a little introduction in the beginning, but you work for roofing.com. You work for Hunter, and what do you do there?
Yep. I'm the senior account executive. So I talk to all these different companies about joining the exclusive partnership in roofing.com. And we just have conversations, talk about it. I give them all the deliverables and
Give me the 2-minute elevator pitch.
So the exclusive partnership, there's only one contractor per metro area. You get a whole bunch of training. You get our partnership with Scorpion and Limitless is huge because you're saving money right off the bat just from doing that. But you can also use the roofing.com name for leverage your company however you want. So those are the main deliverables. Also, with other things like couples retreat coming up. And all those other things. So,
do they get to go to couples retreat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we're going to be doing it separately. So Revolt will have their couples retreat, and then we're going to be doing an exclusive partners couple retreat.
Oh, okay. So it's not in conjunction.
But this one is
just
going
because
it's coming up so soon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're going to have a lot of people.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot. I hate that I'm going to miss that one because I'm actually going to be in Cayman.
Oh well.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I'll be down the street. But yeah, we're going to Cayman, so. We have family down there, so it's like we go down and see my wife's sister, and then my brother-in-law and our niece live down there, and my daughter is super close to our niece. That's
so nice.
Yeah, so we're actually going down in a week, and then we're going back next month. So
super jealous.
Anyway, yeah, that's exciting news for everybody. Nobody gives a fuck. Okay, so you work for Hunter at roofing.com. You've been there, you said, since February?
Yeah.
So this is new.
Yeah.
Is the roofing world new to you?
No, I've been in the roofing world for about 4 years.
Okay.
So my father-in-law in Myrtle Beach has a roofing company. And I've been kind of in and out with dealing with a 3-year-old, of that business. But I just love the roofing industry, construction, industry. And went to RoofCon, met Hunter, and was like, I need to be a part of this.
So I didn't ask you when we were talking before the show started. You went to RoofCon. You asked me if I spoke at RoofCon, which insinuates you didn't see me speak at RoofCon. I'm a little fucking hurt. I'm not going to lie.
So I think the worst part about that is, I love your podcast, right? So I'm all about what goes on here. So I'm actually kind of pissed off that I missed that.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is the whole thing is on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Expo got to me. I had really good relationships during the expo that I was I was in there most of the time.
Yeah.
Just talking to people. So I obviously saw Nick and I saw Eli, and obviously Hunter and then John Maxwell. But I missed kind of little things because I was doing the breakout sessions.
And that was us. We had a booth there because we were filming podcasts there. And so I didn't get to go do anything else.
Yeah.
I didn't get to meet anybody. We were spending so much time at our booth that it made it really hard to get anything else accomplished while we were there. And while I love getting the opportunity to film podcasts while I'm there, it takes away from the other stuff that I'd like to be able to do. I didn't get to meet, I didn't get to meet any of the speakers.
Yeah.
Any of them. It was super annoying. But now that I'm emceeing this year.
Yeah. You're emceeing?
No. But
I was like, what?
We're trying to get a thing. I got to deal with Diego that if we got one of his Facebook groupie things up to a certain number that
you would MC.
Yeah, but it was an impossible number type of thing.
Well,
but I was like, here's the thing, guys. This is what I keep telling Diego. how do you leave your best player on the bench? Right?
Yeah.
You got to figure out where to put, you got to play him somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, maybe he's not a starting pitcher, but like he was last year, but like you got to get him in the game. Yeah. Cause like you still want to win the game.
Yeah.
So you got to get the people in.
I think that'd be super interesting.
It would be. I even said that I would co-MC with Michael, right? So you can get the fucking nice clean cut guy, and then you can get the motherfuck guy with me, right? So anyway.
I think that's awesome. We need to get a little more into that.
I 100% agree. You heard it here, folks. I'm emceeing at RoofCon this year. So again, thank you for being here. I'm really glad that you're hooked up with roofing.com and with Hunter. You know, I've known Hunter for quite a while now, and I really appreciate our friendship that we've been able to make over the years. And I've made a lot of acquaintances in this industry and in this business that I maybe thought were friendships.
Yeah.
But then looking back, they were really just acquaintances. And there's only 2 or 3 that I can say turned into actual, like, real true friendships.
Yeah.
And Hunter's one of those people. I think that what he does and why he does it is important. I think that he does it for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. And so I always applaud people that take that leap of faith to go work with somebody that, you know, they see that same vision, right? And I'm assuming that that is obviously like what you got from being around it and like wanted to be part of that bettering of the industry and the bettering of kind of people in general, right?
And I didn't even know him. You know, I just went to RoofCon. I was in the roofing industry with my husband.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just went. My father-in-law, he sent us, and we just went.
So did your husband work for your dad?
He worked for his dad.
For his dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
but your dad was also in the industry.
No, like my father-in-law. Like I worked.
Father-in-law.
Yeah, I worked for that business.
Got it. Okay.
But I didn't even. We just went, and then I was like, I really like what this is about. Like.
Oh, and before we forget, just to be embarrassing, your husband didn't want to talk to me at the Revolt retreat. Is that correct?
He did want to talk. He came up to you on the lunch line.
Yes.
And then when I said that to you, you're like, yeah, he fucking came up to me on the lunch line. I was like, oh shit, what did he say?
I feel bad. Like and Lexi and I talked about this later. I think I talked to you about it later. But like, I try not to be unapproachable. Like, I don't think I'm a cocksucker.
I don't know. No, he likes you a lot. Like he's all, like I said, he's just like me. Like he loves the shit.
Yeah, I'm not fishing for compliments.
Yeah, no, he does. Like he loves it. So he was like super excited. He's like, he was texting me. He's like, "Oh, Erica's right here." I'm like, "Go say hi." He's like, "I don't know."
But the best thing is the comment afterwards when he said, "I'm just gonna go talk to Ty."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, Ty's safe. Like Ty's the safest, nicest guy. Ty, I love you, but like Ty is the nicest, safest dude in the world."
Ty was like, "What's up, buddy?"
Yeah, and like I'm just not the "what's up, buddy" guy.
Yeah.
Like it takes me like however long to kind of bring the wall down to figure out like, do you want something from me? What do you want? Like, what's happening?
Like, let's
here?
get to it.
Well, kind of, right? But not even. Like, it's just super. I'm a weird motherfucker. Like, I just at least I know that about myself. But like, I have these little guards up, and I'm trying to figure out like, what's your angle, motherfucker? You know, like, what's your fucking angle? And then once I figure out you don't have an angle, we're best friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed, Lex. Would that be accurate? Okay, accurate. So, all right. Anyway, I just wanted to embarrass him publicly, so
you were the main person he wanted to go up to, and I was like, well, just do it.
You're just making me feel bad.
No,
now.
And I swear, like you'll meet it after we're done, like you'll see it, and I'm just like, oh, like whatever.
And I appreciate the fact that when we were texting before this, because today's the first day we actually met.
Yeah.
Right. But I appreciate the fact when you were texting me before when you said that you're going on this little tour and doing some interviews for roofing.com. And I told you, I'm like, we're not going to talk about roofing.com for more than like 5 minutes, right? And like 5 minutes is up. Sorry, Hunter, love you, but that's all we got. But you had mentioned that there was a reason that you wanted to come here and you wanted to be on our show was because it's different and it's not about roofing.
Yeah.
Right? Like I love all my roofing industry partners and brothers and sisters and, whatever. Yeah. But like we talk about deeper shit.
Yeah.
Right? And so we got into a really interesting conversation via text where you brought up some shit that I have no fucking idea about. Yeah. And that's postpartum depression. So tell me a little bit about what you went through right? So that we can kind of dig in and kind of understand what it actually is. Because you have a son or a daughter?
I have a son.
You have a son
He's
that's
about 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me about, for people that don't know what this is, right? Like, does it start during pregnancy or immediately after?
So I'm not quite sure if it starts. I know some women can go through, like, I guess baby blues, but I'm sure that happens after.
Okay.
But for me, I loved pregnancy.
Okay. That's
So
right. You said that.
I was glowing in pregnancy. Like I loved it, you know, and I killed it. I mean, I would get the shirts that have the cute little things on it and everything. And then when it came down, when I had my son, you know, he's finally here, he's laying next to me in the hospital. I turned to William, and this is when I should have known something wasn't right here.
Yeah.
I turned to William, and he's laying on the couch, and I'm like, I started crying, and I was like, what if Rosie feels left out? Rosie's my dog. Oh. Now, don't get me wrong. She's my whole world. That's my first baby.
I'll fucking kick a dog in front of a bus for my kid.
So I am obsessed with my dog, and I start bawling. Like, she's going to be left out. She's, you know, whatever. And William looks at me like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
What is wrong with you right now? And I just bawling. So I should have known, but how am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
This stuff isn't talked about.
Right. But you also just had a baby. So like everybody just chalks shit up to hormones and being weird. And
so I was like, you know, whatever. And then when I got home, it got worse and got worse. And to where thank God my mom was there. So my mom and dad.
Define worse. Give me an example.
I was screaming.
At who? Just myself. People? Oh, or just in general?
Like, just in general, because I was crying so hard. I didn't sleep for 4 days after I had my son. No naps, no nothing. So now I'm starting to go crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like a 4-day Coke bender.
Yeah. So it wasn't good. And then ultimately it came down to, why am I here? Like, so a lot of what postpartum depression is, you want to harm the child. You have thoughts of harming your child. I didn't have that. I had, why the hell am I here? Like, I can't do this. So if I can't take care of my child, why should I be here? And it came close to that, to where I was sitting in my bathroom being like, I don't want to do this anymore. There's no reason I should be here.
And how far in after having?
This was 4 days.
Oh, fuck.
This was, and I also think that a big part of it was, I was never the babysitting type. So I was never around kids. I don't have a sibling that's little or anything. So I never knew what it was like to be around a baby or kids.
Oh, really?
And I wasn't really the person who's like,
so
let me hold your baby.
No nieces or nephews or anything?
I do, but like nothing to where the age difference was like, oh, like little baby, like let me hold it. And I'm not the kind of person who's going to be like, can I hold your baby?
Right.
Now, if I'm in an airplane and a baby's fussing next to me, I'll ask them, like, you want me to play with, you know, like while I'm in the seat next to you.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
But I was never.
Now, but never then.
But I was never the person who's like, oh, let me hold your baby.
Okay.
Like, no, that's not me.
Okay. So step one, you're already anti-baby. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Basically, I was. I love dogs, but like, baby, you know, I was like, I can take care of my dog really well.
Yeah.
It's probably too well, but I was like, so I'll be fine as a mom, you know? And I was like doing everything during pregnancy that I had to do.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom sitting next to me. So I'm adopted.
Okay.
So my mom didn't necessarily go through the hormone change. Obviously you do, because you have a new baby.
So she didn't have any other kids.
No. So I have a brother who's adopted too.
Yeah.
So, but she didn't go through the hormone change.
Gotcha.
So, my mom just kept saying to me, like, it's your body. Your body's betraying you. Because it's a hormone. It's because your estrogen levels are down, you know, because you just had a child. Okay. You know, everything's kind of down, you know, for you. She's like, your body's betraying. This is. And
I think I read that this happens in like 1 in 5.
Yeah,
it's very accurate?
Common. Yeah,
1 in 5.
I think it's at 60%. Like it's
really,
it's pretty high. But the whole thing is, more women are going through this, but they don't talk about it.
Right.
Because just like,
it's shameful.
Well, it's
ashamed
a stigma.
of it. Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm going to sit here and be like, I have mental health issues. I have anxiety. I have depression. Most people aren't going to tell you that.
Right.
You know, so I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. I didn't read up on this
especially
shit.
and especially in that situation, like as a mother, to admit that you either because you said there's kind of two flip sides to it, right? One, that there's some people that their brain gets so fucked up they want to harm the baby.
Yeah.
And then, or B, you're not good enough. And so why are you here? So I'm just going to fucking off myself because the baby will be better off
Without
if I'm
me.
not there. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
because if I'm acting crazy, let's just say,
right.
how am I ever supposed to do this? Now, this is 4 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, my mom was like,
and then you start having panic attacks and it's like, it's forever.
Yeah. But then, you know, I got to wake up and it's like, oh, is he too hot? Like, I cared so much. So I knew it wasn't anything with him. I almost had postpartum anxiety too, because I was like, is he too hot? Is he breathing?
Yeah.
Why is he crying? Like, does he need to be burped? Like, all this stuff, you know, is he getting enough food?
And everybody goes through that obviously to a certain extent,
Yeah.
right? But not to the extreme.
No,
because
not
like,
to the depression
yeah,
side.
because like I know that we would, like when Tegan was born, like I would go run in there and put my fucking hand up against her mouth
just to make
sure she's still breathing.
Yeah.
Because like I'd look on the camera and be like, I can't fucking tell if her stomach's moving. And like I'd have a little panic attack and run in there just to see if she's breathing. But then it went away and I was fine.
Yeah.
Right. And so like my assumption is that just didn't fucking go away for you ever.
Away. No. And it felt like forever.
Yeah.
Even though it was 4 days. It felt like I've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
You know? And basically what happened with me is I looked at myself in the mirror. I was on the bathroom floor, ready to be done.
Yeah.
I stood up and I just looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I have my whole family around me, which a lot of people don't have.
Right.
I have my significant other with me every step of the way, which a lot of people don't have.
Right.
I have a healthy baby. No, first and foremost, I have a healthy baby. So that kind of got me out of it in my head a little bit.
Okay.
I started being somewhat normal. I still wasn't there.
Yeah.
But the thing that really helped me, and this is kind of goes into what I want to do now, is the people that did help me besides my family and stuff who knew nothing about what was going on is people I was acquaintances with. Wasn't good friends with. I mean, my husband played football at Coastal and he had this one girl who was the running back for Coastal and he had twins. So I would talk to her just because we both had babies now, you know, and they both played football. And I wasn't close with her.
Who else played there?
So William played football at Coastal.
I got that.
And then there was a running back that played
his
football
wife?
at Coastal. And his wife.
Okay.
She had a baby.
The way you made it sound was that the gal played at fucking Coastal. I'm like, who is this broad?
No,
like,
she and they had twins.
Okay.
So like 10 times harder than one baby.
Yeah.
And I just messaged her randomly and was like, this is what I'm going through. And after that, I would message like another person.
Because you knew that she had went through it?
No, just because I'm like, how do you handle a baby? Like, basically, you had twins. Like, how are you going through this? Because I needed to talk to somebody. And I'm not the kind of person who's going to go to a doctor, get medication, get hooked on medication, and sleep my life away while I have a newborn, okay? So I started talking to this girl, and she was like, I went through it. And I was like, well, I would have never known based on social media and everything else.
Right.
She's like, I think we all go through it in a sense. She's like, but it gets better. She's like, I promise you. And I'm not friends with this girl. I'm not friends with her, but acquaintances. She's like, it gets better. I promise you, please just give it some time. Stop thinking how you're thinking. It gets better. So then I would talk to someone else who I knew who just had a baby, you know, because I'm 30. So at the time I was 27, you know, a lot of people my age were having babies at that time. And the other she said the same thing. We went through it. I went through it, not maybe to the extent that you're going through it, but I promise you it gets better. It gets better. Everyone just kept saying that. And I'm crying, being like, how does it get better? Like, why is it not getting better right now?
I want a playbook.
Yeah.
Right? Like I want some steps. Like, what can I do?
I almost want to go to a psychic in a way and have them tell me I will be fine.
Right.
Like, show me my future.
So did anybody give you steps to do things to make it better?
They said, go to the doctor.
Okay.
Get medication. You need medication.
Okay.
So I did.
Okay.
Went to the doctor, got medication. They put me on this anxiety medication, I guess. Well, like whatever medication they give you. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And I took a little piece of it because I always try medication before I take it, see how it makes me feel. I was out for like 4 hours. Now I'm having anxiety again because I have a newborn baby. I can't sleep for this long, even though my husband's there, even though my mom's there, like he's fine. But now I started getting anxiety about I can't sleep for this long.
So the anti-anxiety meds is giving you anxiety.
Exactly. It's kind of like smoking weed for me. Like if I smoke weed, like it's anxiety. Like, so it does what the opposite of what it usually is supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I stopped taking the medication. So now I'm kind of back at, let's say, square 3.
Yeah.
Because I'm not necessarily at 1.
Right.
But I'm still there. And I called my OB.
And we're how far in now? A couple weeks? A couple months?
Yeah. We're probably 2 weeks now into that. So I called my OB and I'm like, this is what's going on. I'm very close with her and my nurse. Like, they are awesome. She said, look, you and William and Walker, my son, come into the office. You two are going to sleep on my couch and me and Kylie are going to watch the baby. This is my like gynecologist, basically.
Okay.
My OB telling me this. She was like, because you need to sleep. Your main thing is you need to sleep. Like you have to stop this anxiety thing or depression. Like if once you have a good night's sleep, you're gonna feel better. And I was like, I can't do that. I never did it, but I think shortly after that, if I can go back, I just snapped out of it, which is weird. You hear that a lot. Like you hear like, okay, when you're drinking, like, oh, I just stopped drinking one day, right?
Right.
It was kind of like this because I thought back in my head again. I have it so much better than other people have it. Like, okay, military.
Yeah.
They don't know when their husbands are coming home and they have a newborn.
Right.
They're away from their family. I need to get the fuck over this.
I think the big lesson that people can take from this is we talk about this. I've talked about this numerous times, but like even when you're going through something as intense as what you went through, you literally stopped and made a gratitude list.
Yeah.
Right? Like for guys in AA and recovery and things like that, like that's part of our program.
Yeah.
Right? Is to make gratitude lists. And it's such a powerful exercise and you don't even realize you're doing it, right?
And
like
it's hard to do it in that sense when you want to die.
That's why you need to do it,
like,
right?
Why am I thinking about all the good things? I should be thinking about all the shitty things.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's amazing that like just the power, because at the end of the day, like I'm not fucking Tom Cruise and don't believe in meds and like I'm not a wackadoo, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the power of thought and your mind was eventually able to help you overcome, right? Like with a ton of other outside things and people that helped you as well, right? But the fact that you were able to take a moment or a few moments and start figuring out what you were grateful for and what all the things that you had.
Things to make me push forward.
Yeah.
Like that was the biggest thing for me. And the other biggest thing was having those people who we don't talk about. And that's what kind of made me want to always be an ear.
Yeah.
Whether it's with men, whether it's with people who are suicidal, whether it's with women who don't want to talk about this shit. Because I don't. If I didn't go through it, you would have never heard me talk about it. I'd be like, oh, I didn't have that, even if I did, if it wasn't so intense.
Right.
But it's something that has to be talked about. And it's also something that women have to be proud of. You just had a baby, okay? And I know everybody hears this a lot, like, oh, moms don't get enough credit, blah, blah, blah. Like, but we just pushed out a human or got cut open, whatever way it works. And now our whole life has changed. It's the hardest job in the world to keep a human alive. I mean, it is. And then you have this shit on top that nobody can kind of understand, and then even for the men, like my husband, he had no idea what to do. Now, if this was something that's actually talked about, maybe they would know what to do next time.
Yeah. I'd have been scared shitless dealing with fucking crazy in the house with a fucking newborn. Yeah. Right? Crazy. Like, did he ever get scared to like let you be alone with the baby? Since
my mom was there a lot of the time and my dad was there. Okay. And they hate each other and they were in the same house, which was awesome. Helping out. So that was one of the other things I was grateful for. That went on my grateful list. But I think he knew because he knows me. Like we know each other.
Yeah, but you weren't you.
Yeah, but he
You know what I'm
knows that
saying?
it didn't, like, I never once was like, I don't want him, like, blah, blah.
Okay.
It was all about, I'm not supposed to be a mom.
I'll be honest though, like if it was me sitting in that room,
Yeah.
no matter how well I know somebody,
Yeah.
I'm still going to have that weird thought.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason
he could have 100%.
Yeah. And the reason I bring it up is because I know that, like, obviously larger percentage of our viewership is male. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And they're trying to put themselves maybe in this position and like, what would I do? Like, I know that fucking I would be, because I've said this before and it's a joke, but it's not. And my wife says the same thing, but like, I would kick her in front of a bus to save my daughter.
Yeah.
And she would absolutely fucking cut my head off to save our daughter as well. Right.
Yeah.
So like in that moment, you not being you, right? Clearly not being you, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not the Erica that he had been with for however many years,
Yeah.
right? Like you're a completely different version of you during that time that you're kind of manic or, you know, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it, right? I could, man, I can put myself in that spot going, fuck, if these
Yeah.
people weren't here, I think I'd take this fucking baby until you were
100%.
okay again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
that would have been completely normal.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have been like, you're not taking my, no, like that would have been completely normal because.
but you might have, right? You might have.
Yeah, maybe.
You might have been like, fuck you, you're not taking my.
I think he handled it perfectly.
Sounds like he did.
But at the same time, I don't know what was going on. I mean, we talk about it, obviously. You know, he knows this is a big part of my story, a big part of stuff that I
Yeah.
talk about. But I'll never really know what was going on unless he was here and I was asking, you know, but
Yeah.
I'll never really know. But the hard part about it, too, was me and William's age difference is he's a lot younger than me.
Oh, is he?
So he's 7 years younger than me.
Holy shit.
I know. He was 19 when we got pregnant. So he was.
What the fuck?
I
You're
know.
out there fucking cradle fucking Robin?
I am. So
Holy shit.
he
Like a young cougar.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like, he was young. When he, you know, he's like a young dad and we got
And
pregnant
you were
real
20,
quick.
what?
7. So if he was 19 when we got pregnant, whatever 7 is from there.
And how long you been together?
Well, we were together not that long before we got pregnant. We've been together now for like 4 or 5 years. I think 4.5 years, actually.
I mean, was he at least 18 when you started banging him?
Yes,
Okay,
he was 19.
all right.
Yeah, he
I
was
wanted to get out of you
19.
that he was 17 or something
No,
like that.
okay, so let me get this straight. I transferred to a lot. So like when I first, you know, was going to college, I was playing college basketball. So
Okay.
like I transferred a lot. So when I finally got to Coastal, I was older and I had to redo basically all the credits that I had already.
Gotcha.
So that we met in class.
Ah.
So that's why
Right.
like the, you know, the
He
age
was a
difference.
freshman and you were a fucking super senior.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I could have had a doctorate by now. But that's the thing is we didn't, you know.
That's hilarious.
So it's kind of, yeah, it's funny. But he was also super, he didn't go out. Like he wasn't a partier.
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
still not like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, he's pretty mature. Like, I don't know about
Yeah.
going this young. Like I'll go like a year or two, like younger than me, but like not this young.
Right.
But he was so like more mature than any of the 25-year-olds,
Right.
you know, that I was dating or whatever the case was. So I was like, I like him, you know,
That's
and he's
crazy.
kind of, he's
No, that's a
athletic and whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's a great story, though.
The whole point is that he was really young.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that had a lot to play in. I almost would love to know, like after having this conversation, I would love to know like what did he, and I asked him, he's like, I didn't know what the fuck to do. I had no idea at all. He's like, he's like, I needed you. That's all I knew is that I needed you.
Yeah.
I needed Walker's mom and I needed you as, you know, my
Yeah.
significant other.
Right.
He's like, but you were meant to do this. Like, cause now I can't believe I still hold guilt. Like every time I look at my son, I'm
Yeah.
like, how did I ever act like that? Cause now I'm like the whole same thing. I would push Walker in front of a bus. I mean, I'd push William
Start that
in
over
front
again,
of,
yeah.
don't, no, I would push William in.
Yeah.
So Walker's name is William. So it's William Walker Stewart.
Oh, okay.
So we can put that on there, but, you know, like that's how I am now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't.
So how often does that
believe-
guilt hit you?
A lot. I think a lot more than I talk about.
Okay.
And everyone's like, you got through it. That's all that matters, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, but still, like, how could I ever just feel like I didn't need to be there for my child? Like he'd be
Yeah.
better off without me.
Yeah. How do we get rid of that though? Because
I think that's just going to come with time. I think it's just, it's not so strong to where it stops me from doing stuff. It doesn't stop me from being the best mom I can be.
Right.
But I think also when I tell this story, I like to say that because so people know it's normal.
Yeah.
Once you go through this, you're going to have guilt.
Yeah.
Now, especially if you're one of these postpartum depressions that don't, the other one, not how I was with myself, like offing myself, I hear about it all the time from women. Like, I still feel guilty. It's like, acknowledge that what happened and you can acknowledge that guilt in a way, but that's not who you were. And it wasn't who you were when it happened. It's your body playing all these games, like hormones and stuff that I think it's good to just acknowledge.
If it was me, I would definitely take the time to figure out how to accelerate, like what steps can actually be taken other than just it'll go away on its own.
Yeah.
For this reason and this reason only, because you don't deserve to have to live in that ever. Yeah. Right? Like you shouldn't have to. It doesn't mean, like, we all know feelings come up and blah, 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 right? But, like, you shouldn't have to live in that because, like, today that it wasn't your fault. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And if you truly accept that and to figure out how to make sure that it's an extremely fleeting moment. Yeah. Right? And that you don't have to sit in it for even 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Right? Because even 5-10 minutes of sitting in that is a long fucking time, right? Like, we talk about it in being an alcoholic. Like, I've been sober for almost 14 years, and I will have fleeting moments of, I could do that. Yeah. Right. But like for me, like it's got to go away really fast. Yeah. Right. Because if it lingers for too fucking long, I start going through shit like, well, maybe I'm all right. Yeah. Like maybe I'm different now. Yeah. Maybe it won't affect me the same
after
way.
all these years, maybe I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like but yeah, I just for you, like I can just tell like you're obviously a good human. Yeah. Right. And don't deserve to sit in that shit, for too long. So like, yeah.
I think talking about it so other people know about it, I think that's my therapy in a way.
That makes sense.
I think that takes the guilt. Every time I talk about it, I feel less guilty because I feel like I'm helping the next mom who's going to go through it. Yeah. Some women don't go through it.
Right.
And I'm envious of that. I really am because it's like, they're killing it. Yeah. And like their hair is done. Everything that I saw on social media when I got pregnant. Right. Like makeup done, maternity shoots, all this stuff. Like I look like a dead rat. Okay. Like my hair's in a bun. I haven't showered in 5 days. Like all this stuff. So it's like, I'm super envious of that, you know, but I also know they are probably going maybe through something and they're just not talking. They're just using social media as a shield, kind of thing.
So what's the next move, or what are you doing currently, or what do you want to do moving forward to be intentional about being able to reach out and help those people that are going through that? Have you come up with a plan?
I haven't.
Okay, you're going to after this episode.
No, I definitely want to speak on it. And I think that's something that why Hunter really wanted me to get on something like this was Hunter knows my story. I've told him, I've told Max, like I've told all of them. And he's like, he started asking me questions. This was at IRE when I first met him. We were out to dinner. He started asking me questions and certain stuff like that. I definitely, and we're talking about it. It's kind of in the works, doing like a women's revolt. Don't know if it's going to be revolt, like the name revolt. Yeah. But starting that and kind of getting women, whether it's moms, stay-at-home moms, business women, whatever. It's not going to necessarily be revolt where it's like my business owners, because I want there to be a whole different kind of group to where we can talk about this and hopefully change some lives, Yeah. But also going into that, I kind of, and I know you do this at the end of the show where you kind of like talk about certain things, what you want to talk about that you didn't, but I'll just get to it now.
Okay, we'll just pretend we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up. Okay.
Is that I don't want it to also just be focused on this. I think after going through this, I want it to be anybody, men, women, kids, whatever it is. If you feel alone, because I felt alone and I wasn't alone. That's the biggest part of this is I had everyone surrounding me, holding me, doing whatever. But I felt like alone. I felt like I was alone. So anyone who's alone, I want them to know, regardless whether it's a Facebook message, an Instagram message, I'll always be an ear.
Be careful about inviting guys into that group.
I know.
Like, you don't want fucking dudes that feel alone to be in a bunch of women groups that feel alone. Like, that'll be a fucking shit
they wouldn't
show.
come to the women's revolt or something like that.
Nightmare.
But I'm just talking. I'm just talking about in general. Like, if you're feeling alone, if you feel like you don't have anybody, shoot me a DM, message me. I will have no judgment. Yeah. You know, because
unless you're a guy.
Because those people didn't have judgment on me that I went and ran to. Right. They said, "Yeah, girl, like we go through the same thing." You know, I'm just, after being so suicidal on how I was, like, I'm so sick of seeing suicides happen. Yeah. And certain things that it's like, if I can be.
Did you plan it out?
What do you mean?
The suicide moment that you had. Like, did you actually have a plan, or just the thought of, I don't want to be here? Yeah,
I kind of had two scenarios. I was either going to cut.
Okay.
Because I was in the bathroom. I could lock myself in the bathroom real quick and just do it. Yeah. Or I was just going to take a bunch of pills.
Got it.
And do it from like pills that I've had for like 6 years. You know, that
were
like,
had nothing left in
them. No, that were probably like in my thing because I didn't have pills, you know, whatever. But it was either going to go out that way.
I was just curious how far it got. Yeah.
It got that far.
Yeah.
It got to where I was done.
Yeah.
And I told William that. I said, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And he was like,
did he have
once again, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying right now?
I would have immediately committed you.
I probably should have been.
You know what I mean? Like, that would have been my first reaction. Probably the wrong one, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's probably a way better dude than I am. But like, my first reaction, like, if Natalie would have said that, I've been like, honey, we're going to the fucking hospital and you're staying there until they figure out what the fuck's wrong with you, and I'll see you in a month.
I should have been. I mean, 100%. Thank God I found the strength to get over it as quickly as I did. Because sometimes it's not that quick, you know?
And I think that's probably something that people should hear, though, too, is like, you were very fortunate because of
very
that.
Fortunate.
But most probably aren't, right? And shouldn't be ashamed to go get that help. And if they do need to go check in somewhere for a few weeks or whatever it is, right? Because like, it's the same, you're talking about stigma, right? And we talk a lot about the stigma of addiction, and people don't want to ask for help, and people don't want to go to treatment. People don't want to go to rehab because they see it as a weakness, right? They see it as they're doing something wrong, right? And it's the same thing, but like, it is an absolute sign of strength when you can make a decision to say, I'm helpless. I cannot help myself right now. I'm powerless. That's the word we use. I'm powerless. I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, take me and show me how to be better. Yeah. Right? How to be okay. I want to be okay again. Yeah. Right? And it's the same thing. So for anybody, you know, watching, listening this, that either knows somebody or is going through it or did go through it or is trying to help other women that are going through it, like, I think that's such a powerful message too, to think about, you know, is that like, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be the same story that you had where you were so fortunate that you were able to like, wake up one day, right?
When you take out that ego, and I know you hear about ego with like men all the time, it's in women too.
Sure.
My ego was, I see all these women on social media.
Right.
I'm going to be one of the, you know, I'm going to rock it. I'm going to kill it. Once I tore down that ego, I knew something was wrong, and I started asking for help. That's the biggest thing. Acknowledging something's wrong, then asking for help. And once I started doing that, like, that's the strongest thing you can do. Now, should I have been committed? 100%. And I think people, especially new moms who actually do that, like, I don't see weakness. I see badass strength, because you're doing everything that you possibly can to get back to that baby.
Yes.
So you can be the best mom possible. And being the best mom does not mean putting on a cute dress and taking a freaking picture. No. That means
that's ego.
Yeah, that's ego. Now, being the best mom is raising that little boy or that little girl.
Yes.
You know, so that, I think, I don't know. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
We talked about it last week. I can't remember who I was having a conversation with, but every negative thing that tends to happen in my life across the fucking board, when I look back at it, all started due to ego. It all started due to ego and not understanding how to and what humility is, and having humility that you don't fucking know everything. You can't control everything. Yeah. Right. And admitting when you have an issue or a problem, i.e. what you went through, acknowledging it, and then putting your hand out and asking for help from the people around you, right? Yeah. And I think that if there's anything that people can take from this, it doesn't matter what you're going through, if it's postpartum, if it's alcoholism, if it's fucking something else, if it's this, it's that, whatever it is take the time to strip the ego away, realize you're not fucking the be all end all. You're not God, right? Let down the fucking wall and understand that there are other people out there that do want to help you because they've been through exactly what you've been through. Find that tribe, right? Find that tribe, find that group of people, right? If it's alcoholics, it's AA. If it's postpartum, I don't know. Y'all probably got a fucking acronym, of people that have support groups, right? Like if it's this, if it's that, like there are so many people in the world that have gone through whatever it is that you went through. Find that fucking tribe so you can find people to connect to, right? Yeah. Because when you feel alone, it's because you don't feel connection to anyone or anything, right? And so we need to find those groups of people that we can actually connect with so that we are a tribal people, right? Yeah. Like we are not born to be alone and we were not born to feel alone. We were born to connect with other humans, on whatever level, but you have to be able to connect. So like, if you're going through anything like this, like take the time to figure out how you connect to somebody that has possibly went through what you did, because they want to help the next person because of how hard it was for them.
And I think a lot of people too, like 100% going off of all that, I think a lot of people too see this as strength. Like more, they think in their head, this is a stigma. I'm going to look weak. But when you finally do it, if you're still in that ego set, like if you still have a little bit of ego, people are going to look at you as such a strong person.
Yes.
See, me, I don't really give a crap what people think anymore. Yeah. Like whatever. Yeah. Like obviously when I was younger I did, but I don't care anymore. Yeah. But there's so much more strength involved and people see that. You don't look weak anymore. The whole ego thing, the whole
want
stigma.
To be around humble people.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be around somebody who thinks they're fucking king shit, that they've got everything fucking figured out.
I'll be gone so quick.
Because we see it. Because I'm like, you don't fucking know anything. Like all you know is that you want people to see you a certain way, but you're full of shit, right? Yeah. Like learn how to be humble, learn how to strip the ego, and then you'll have opportunities to connect with other people. Yeah. Well, I know you already did it, but is there anything else that you want to leave the people with before we wrap up today?
I just want everybody to know that if they need somebody, there's a lot of people like me that are here for you, the support groups and everything like that. Just get the help that you need. I did it kind of on my own with my family and my friends, but that doesn't work for everybody. Yeah. So go get the help that you need. Talk about it. Yeah. That's my main thing. Yeah. Talk about it. Yeah. Because there's more women that are going through this than anything.
Well, I'm excited to see what you do next. Whether it's setting up some kind of a foundation or some kind of, even if it's a Facebook group or, somewhere that people can go to have these conversations and feel safe, right? Yeah. Like even just
all I want is for people to feel safe.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. I mean, even if it is just a silly little Facebook group that turns into this community of people that they know that they can go there. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's what we did with Roofers in Recovery, where it's just a Facebook group too, where we've got 600-700 people that all can connect, right? And they know that they're safe when they go in that space, and maybe they meet up and they go have dinner together if they're in the same area or whatever it is, right? But do something, right? Because you are clearly passionate about this and you want to help more people. So if there's anything that you take from today, is me trying to push you to go do more, right? Don't sit in what you've already done. Figure out what the next step is so that you can help more people, right? And become known. And
that's all I want to do. All I want to do is help people. I don't care about a brand. Like to me, I don't. Like, I'm so happy where I'm at. I work for one of the best guys you could ever do.
Aside from me, I would agree with
obviously,
that. Yeah.
But I just care about helping. Yeah. And people tell me I'm naive. Like, oh, you're naive. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You know what I generally say to those people? Fuck off. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. You're fucking naive, you dumb cocksucker. Like, There's nothing that irritates me more than people shitting on other people's like thing that they're doing because they know that they couldn't fucking do it because they're weak and won't take the next step.
Or you care
to
too
shit.
much. Like you care too much. I get that a lot. I was like,
how the fuck do you care too much?
I would rather care and my legacy be known as the person, Erica was the person I can always run to and who actually gave a shit, than to be known as, like she was a good friend.
Yeah.
No, like think about legacy.
Yeah.
Obviously my whole job is based on leadership, integrity, and legacy.
Right.
That's what I want.
Absolutely.
So
I love that. Erica, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being open enough to share your story, share your message. For everybody watching and listening, we don't have sponsors, right? Although we're trying. Zyn, for all of your nicotine needs. Zyn, we want you to be a sponsor. So we're making a whole collage of how many times I'm pimping Zyn so that we can work together. Zyn, for all your nicotine needs. The delicious flavors. We don't have sponsors. Share this shit. If you got something out of this, please take the time and share it with your network, because I know there's people that need to hear Erica's story. So please take the time and let people know that you got something out of this. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening. And remember, everybody, be authentic.
Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic.